I'm curious, when you first got this script, what was it that really drew you in and what made you most excited to play your respective parts?
I just thought it was wild as hell. I thought it was just all over the place in the best way. Um, and it has, it also like for something that is that has so many like interesting genre elements. It has this long narrative that is really rewarding, to read as well as play. Um, but it was one of those things that just didn't telegraph any of the directions it was going, and I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I loved how unexpected it was and how singular it was. The show you're going to end up with is very different than the show you begin with. And like, I was so enamored with that because I think that it's a miracle that anything gets made and anything comes together. But when you read something that sort of exists in its own world and sort of creates its own genre and feeling, that's very exciting. And I was very drawn in by that. And Andy's involvement and Will's involvement. That was like a...
Yeah. Well, how much of the story did you get? Did you get all 8 episodes at once? Did you just get the pilot? What was your process like in finding out the intricacies of the mystery of the story?
I feel like I got like the first two, then I got the next two, and then pretty early on into shooting, I got the final four, like in two installments. But I didn't really know how this whole thing was going to wrap up. I had a vague idea, a general idea, but it was. I was sort of piecing things together as we were working on it, in a lot of ways, and so yeah, I feel like it wasn't maybe like, honestly, I feel like even when it comes to the end, we didn't really know how everything was going to go until like maybe like a week before we started shooting.
Yeah, we knew sort of like the general gist of it, but the specific, which is when you get to the end, like a pretty big deal, like how specific what happens is. And that was very much up in the air. And I think similarly, I was maybe given the first 3 episodes, and then I had like a long talk with Andy where he sort of took me through like major plot points, but there was still a lot that was like shifting and growing when we were shooting it too.
Did you guys have a lot of onset like theorizing about what the heck was going on, or were you trying to be like, okay, we're just gonna play it by what our characters know and go from there?
Both. I think like something else that is really cool about this show is that like, and I think really speaks to Andy's brilliance, is that like, sure, the way it ends is, I think, unexpected and also incredibly intriguing. And also you can project whatever you want to onto it. Am I allowed to say that?
No.
But like, I don't know. I like that. And like, I was pitching things for the end all the time, which I can't say what my pitches were because it will, but I don't know. I found it to be very, it's like an intimate experience, which is like what it really depends on who you are and what your life experience has been. And there's like a multitude of, I don't know, feelings that you could have about it. Now I'm just rambling because I'm like afraid I said something wrong. Well, you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't think we did a ton of theorizing. We did definitely, because we were just like, we wanted to know what was going on, but it was like,
Right.
I think that because the specifics of our relationship were so like, it was like, we really needed to sort of lock into that. And I think that sort of that stuff, like the moment to moment stuff, really for me, it like took up like a lot of the brain space when it came to like, okay, so where are we? How are we feeling about each other in this moment? This is this huge thing going on, but also, we're sort of in a very different, like an inflection point in our relationship, and like what do we do with that? And you know, and it's easy for me to sort of get locked into those places just because, you know, when you're working with someone like Cristin all the time, it's like, it's really fun to get into those scenes and just like, you know, try a bunch of stuff and tear it all up and just see what she does. Because I mean, it's like, it's always interesting and grounded and organic and it's like, you know, so it's like part of it was just like me being an actor nerd being like, I can't wait to see what she does when we do some stuff. And so that was kind of that kind of took a lot of the brain space for me, the prognostication and stuff. Like we started to do a little bit more of that, but it was really just more fun to be just getting to do scene work with Cristin all the time.
Yeah, I feel the same way. We were very like locked in. It really felt, I mean, obviously we're very different than the characters we play, but sometimes it felt like I just always knew I could count on Will, and it was like a wild shoot. And it did feel like we sort of like held on to each other through like a tornado of things, all good. But like it really, we just kept coming back to each other, which is also something I really love about this show. Yeah. It's like a mystery, but it's also about who these people are.